Day to each and everyone. My name is Consebido from BSHM1A, and I'm going to discuss all about Ramon Magsaysay. Who was Ramon Magsaysay? Ramon Magsaysay was the 7th President of the Philippines, 1953 to 57, best known for successfully defeating the communist-led Huk Balahap or HAP movement in his country and his popular appeal. He died in his country in 1957. Early life. Magsaysay was born Ramon del Piero Magsaysay in Iba, a city in the Philippines on August 31, 1907. After attending the University of the Philippines, Magsaysay transferred to the Institute of Commerce at Jose Rizal College to 1928 to 1932, where he received a bachelor's degree in commerce. At the start of the World War II, Magsaysay joined the motor pool in the 31st Infantry Divisions of the Philippine Army. He was promoted to captain and was involved in clearing the Zambales coast of the Japanese before to the landing of American forces there. Leading military reform, Magsaysay was elected to the Philippine House of Representatives in 1946 and was later re-elected to a second term. During both terms, he was chairman of the House National Defense Committee. In 1950, Philippine President Elpidio Quirino appointed Magsaysay Secretary of Defense to deal with the threat of the Hawks, whose leader, Luis Taruc, had called for the overthrow of the government. Magsaysay reformed the army, dismissing many officers and emphasizing mobility and adaptability in combat operations against the Hawks. Guerrilla tactics that he had learned in his own guerrilla efforts against the Japanese in World War II. From then until 1953, Magsaysay carried out one of the most effective anti-guerrilla campaigns in modern history. By 1953, the Hawks were no longer a serious threat. Unfortunately, Magsaysay's sweeping measures had made many enemies for him within the government, and he reassigned on February 28, 1953, later charging the Quirino administration with corruptions and incompetence. The presidency and achievements. Although Magsaysay was a liberal, the Nacionalista Party backed him for the presidency against Quirino in 1953 elections, and Magsaysay prevailed. He misreformed in nearly every segment of Filipino life, but he was often thwarted by a Congress that only represented the interest of wealthy. Magsaysay did manage to enact agrarian reform, giving some 90,000 acres to 5,500 indigent families for settlement or farming purposes. He also set up a process to hear and address citizens, and maintain a reputation for incorruptibility throughout his presidency, all of which went a long way toward ensuring his popularity. Death and award. Sadly, Ramon Magsaysay's term came to an abrupt on March 17, 1957, when his presidential plane crashed, killing Magsaysay and 24 others passengers. An estimated 5 million people attended Magsaysay's burial on March 31, 1957, and afterward he was referred to in the Philippines as the idol of the masses. In his honor, the Ramon Magsaysay Award, considered Asia's Nobel Prize, was established in 1957. In the spirit of Ramon Magsaysay's leaderships, the award recognizes integrity and courage among individuals and organizations in Asia. The 7th President of the Philippines, Ramon Magsaysay, was a very much beloved leader. He was considered as honest, true man of the people that often spoke and interacted directly with constituents. Magsaysay and his administration were considered clean, incorruptibility, and committed. She ensured his popularity after his ultimately death in a plane crash on March 17, 1957. An estimated 2 to 5 million people attended his burial 2 weeks later. Magsaysay is referred to as the idol of masses, champion of the masses, and defender of democracy. He is also the first president to wear the Barong Tagalog to his inauguration and much of his presidential appearances and functions, establishing the barong as formal wear as we presently know it. The numerous monuments, tributes, and image in his memory around the Philippines depict Magsaysay wearing a barong Tagalog.
A man holds a book open to a tribute to
to President Magsaysay and the famous painting of him in a barong Tagalog. Caption reads, Members of Directorate and Post Commander in Philippines Veteran Region, Davao Chapter Region, year 1960-61. Attorney Bonifacio Tamayo, Chapter Commander, taken at Ramon Magsaysay Park in Davao City, in front of Magsaysay Monument. His statue depicts him wearing a barong. A group photographed in front of a Magsaysay statue circa 1957. Magsaysay is depicted in barong Tagalog. Caption reads, Bislig Town official at the foot of the Magsaysay Monument unveiled on the second anniversary of his death, March 17, 1959. The statue is of Magsaysay in a barong Tagalog. Townspeople gather around the statue of President Magsaysay in a barong Tagalog. Sculpture works on a statue of President Magsaysay in a barong Tagalog. Sculpture works on a statue of President Magsaysay. The Ramon Magsaysay Award contains an image of him wearing a barong Tagalog. This award was established in 1957 and is considered Asia's Nobel Prize. The award recognizes integrity and courage among individuals and organizations in Asia.
Pres Ramon Magsaysay commanded the administration respect and affection of people because he was simple, humble man, because he cared for all people as individuals and believed in their dignity and importance, and because he had the courage of his convictions. His objective was to improve the lot of his fellow Filipinos, and he approached the task with selfless devotion. He was convinced that the government to last and to be sound must have integrity and reflect the will of the people. A man of greatness of spirit, he saw his fellow human being born with the right to live in liberty and happiness. He was engaged in justice and the validation of principles. He worked to build a nation, a world in which all people were free and live in honor and peace with another.